setting new standards in podcast excellence. You have joined the WBT, fully focused on business and taxes. Here is your host, Michael Lodge.
Well, here we are another day. This is Michael Lodge with the WBT. Glad you've joined me. Today our discussion is going to be about the pre-divorce stage of divorce. It's when you put together a separation agreement. You decide that you want to separate. So let's talk about it. I'll be right back, okay?
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
And welcome back. This is Michael Lodge once again. Listen, we know people, or you may even be a person yourself, or a family unit, or a married couple that have been thinking about divorce, and maybe you've even separated. But there's some issues that you need to know about when you do separate. When you start to separate, some of you are still living together, some of you have moved out of the house completely. So you've basically separated. You're no longer operating as a married couple. The best way to slow down the hostility and slow down the negativeness that gets associated with all this, because you've got couples that are really mad at each other. Something has happened, the communication is broken down, something has happened, so you've decided to separate. Well, there's some decisions that you have to make. And the best way to resolve some of these issues is by going to an individual who mediates pre-divorce settlements. Not really settlements, I shouldn't say that, but they are called separation agreements. And they're totally different from the divorce agreement. But this is at the point, especially if you have children, you need to come to some conclusions as to how you're going to handle the issues with the children. Who's going to have them on certain days? Who's going to pay for this and who's going to pay for that? So there's some conflict. And it's always a conflict. I see it a lot. And that tells the child, when he sees this conflict, who's going to take care of me? Who's going to take care of my life? Who's going to take care of my needs? Because they see this bickering and they see this disputes going on between the mom and the dad. So they have to go and they need to do a separation agreement. It's really important. That separation agreement is so important because that is two individuals coming together to decide how they're going to take care of the day-to-day issues of life. So, in separation, it really means that a married couple a married couple has decided to separate for the time being. But they are not ready for divorce quite yet. Maybe they're going through marriage and family therapy. Maybe they're going through some type of counseling. So they would like to continue their marriage but wish to live apart temporarily. Some of them are living together, but they're still separated. So the husband and the wife, they choose to create a separation agreement so that they can document when they started to live independently, and so that they can divide their family and financial responsibilities while they are separated. So, you sit down with a mediator and you begin listing things out. Usually they begin with the family unit themselves, the children. Then they move on to the financials. The financials, who is going to pay for what? Who's going to be responsible for what? Who's going to pay the home mortgage if you own a home? Who's going to pay for the rent? There's a whole bunch of questions that the mediator will walk you through. And they will even sit down and list out all of your assets and all of your liabilities. So they know who should be responsible for what. And then you go through the negotiation stage with the third-party mediator that can walk you through it, keep the communication going, try to strike out anything that is anger or mean or there's some hostility, if there's any hostility. But that's what the divorce mediator does. He walks you through that. And it's so important that as you are separated, that you have this pre-divorce agreement, that you pretty much know who's going to do what. It creates a lot of less stress. It loosens you up so that you feel as though, okay, fine, we have an agreement now. Now we can move forward. Either we're going to move forward in our marriage counseling, or we're going to move forward with the divorce itself. Maybe we need to sell a home. Maybe we need to do something. But there's an agreement. And it's not going to be done in one session. It's going to be done maybe in the second session, the third session, the fourth session. Because at the very end, that's when the attorneys come in. When you finally decide that you're going to do a divorce, that's when we bring the attorneys in on both sides, and we begin to put the final divorce agreement together. But it's so very important to have this separation agreement in place so that there's no conflict, or less conflict, I should say. You learn how to communicate together about taking care of your children, about the responsibilities of being a single mom and dad now. So, the separation agreement is very important to do. Divorce is one of those anger management situations that gets out of hand. But if a mediator steps in and guides you along, remember, the mediator's not making the decision for you of what you should do. That's not their point. That's not their role. My role as a mediator is to bring you together and work things out, negotiate things out. So that up until the time that you finally decide to make that decision to file for an actual divorce, you've got consistency up until that time. You've got good communication skills being built during that time. And then finally, when you sit down with the attorneys, pretty much everything is ready to go for them to draft the documents that you will need. So for those of you, I know, this is probably one of the toughest conversations to even think about. But a separation is also a stressful time for everybody. And if you have consistency and agreements in place, it makes it so much easier. Can you imagine having a good agreement in place, and maybe you really do need to work on your marriage? It gives you that time. But you've got a set of rules in place that both of you have come together and agreed upon, with a mediator, keeping things calm, cool, and collected. So those of you who are thinking about divorce or are separated right now, sit down with a mediator and work out a separation agreement. And then when you get to that time where you make that final decision of going for the divorce, you've worked out most of your anger, and you've worked out most of your agreements, and you're ready to go forward. Either go forward with the divorce or go forward with the marriage. You're making the choice. So if you need any help, if you need a mediator, call my office at 888-681-1518 or send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com and just send me an email and tell me what's going on, and we can set up a mediation time. I can talk to both couples. I usually spend about 10 minutes talking with both couples, explaining the process as we go forward. Remember, everything's confidential that we say. And we can set up a time where we can sit down with both parties. And I can do this remotely because I have a conference room online that we all can go into, and we all can talk to one another in a professional setting. Or you can come into my office also. So think about it. Remember, the less stress that you have, and if you have children, they'll feel much better. They'll see consistency in their mom and dad, and they'll see consistency in the way that they're being taken care of. Because that role as mom and dad does not end. And those children need to know that they are being taken care of. That's the number one question that they will be asking through this whole process of separation and divorce, is who's going to be taking care of them. And then if you're single, both of you will know either you're going to work on the marriage or you're going to end the marriage, but that separation agreement gives you some boundaries and some rules that you both have agreed to in mediation. Anyway, give me a call at 888-681-1518 or send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com. Go to my website at www.lodge-co.com. Click on mediation, and it will also give you a text. You can even send me a text. So I can't think of what the number is at the moment. It's an 818 number 252, but I don't know what those last four is. I have got so many numbers as an accountant. I've got numbers running past me all the time because I'm an accountant and a mediator at the same time. And sometimes those numbers, at my age, they get mixed up. What can I tell you? But call me at 888-681-1518. Or send me an email at mlodge@lodge-co.com. I'll be more than welcome. I'll be more than happy to talk with you and work with you throughout this whole separation time. I'll talk with you soon. This is Mike Lodge.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.